everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are all doing good tonight. I am going to be doing our weekly discussion stream, obviously because the elections have been going on. My stream schedule did get a little bit messed up, but tonight we're going to do what I would usually do on Mondays or Tuesdays. We're just going to sit down, talk about a couple of new topics that I've wanted to discuss that I haven't gotten a chance to cover in videos, and just kind of hang out with you guys and chat for a little while. So welcome everyone. I hope that you are all doing well. I wonder who will be here for a Wednesday night stream. If you're watching this back, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. We have some interesting topics to cover tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about, first of all, The Witcher. We have finally gotten a look at the new Nilfgaardian armor. I think that we all remember back when The Witcher launched, and even before it launched, the show, that is, everyone was pretty unhappy with the Nilfgaardian armor. They basically looked like giant fucking ball sacks. They looked awful. Honestly, I just think that it looks so terrible. I kind of understand where they were going with it. It just was executed so poorly, especially with the helmet. It looked awful. So we're finally gonna talk about The Witcher, some of the new images that we've seen besides just the Nilfgaardian armor. We're going to be talking about EA. This is an interesting new article that I haven't really seen anyone talk about. EA Motive announced that they are working on a new Star Wars action game, and I didn't just want to talk about this because we really don't have a lot of details on it. I also wanted to talk about how EA is talking about making a new Star Wars game. It's an action game this time, which does sound pretty good. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was a really fantastic game, but a big problem with that game was the fact that they didn't really add much content after it. They just kind of gave up on the game, and unfortunately, the same thing happened with Star Wars Squadrons. They announced that they have no plans to add any new content, paid for, free, didn't matter. They weren't going to really be adding much more content to the game, so I kind of just wanted to have a general discussion on EA and their Star Wars games. I also wanted to talk about how Star Wars reveals new The Empire Strikes Back story that demeans Han Solo for being handsome. I've talked about it so many times here on the channel. They are just continuously fucking up Star Wars. They continue to change Star Wars for the worse. They keep adding random context to Star Wars, just like this. They're adding more of a backstory to The Empire Strikes Back. And unfortunately for fans of Star Wars, they just keep ruining our favorite beloved characters. I mean, Han Solo is such an iconic piece of Star Wars. Everyone can admit that. And unfortunately, they just continue to fuck it up and continue to ruin these characters. And I also wanted to talk about something that I don't really see a lot of people discussing. We all know that Activision Blizzard is a very hit or miss company. Sometimes they'll do really good things. Sometimes they will make decent moves that are kind of consumer friendly. Maybe 2% of the time they do that. And then we know Activision Blizzard as just being this really shitty company lately. They keep making bad moves. They keep just not doing what fans want. And as a fan of a lot of their franchises, we don't ask for much. We just ask for them to not scam consumers out of their money, not nickel and dime consumers, and just act half decent. And unfortunately, Activision Blizzard needs to hire 2,000 more people after mass layoffs. Last year, they laid off almost 1,000 people, and they have been, through the past year, they've had this cycle of laying people off. Small group here, small group there, and now, they have to hire a shit ton of more people. And of course, they're not reaching out to all of those people that they laid off. They're finding brand new people to hire, because this is what Blizzard does. They do stupid things like laying off tons of people, and then they say, oh wow, we really laid off a lot of people during a record-setting year, may I add, where they made tons of money, and now they're saying, oh wow, well we messed up a little bit, we have to hire more people. So those are going to be the topics on the roster for tonight. Hello everyone, welcome. Hope that you're doing good. How is everyone doing tonight? Activision Blizzard has been on my shit list since they chose Winnie the Pooh over basic human rights. Yeah, I mean, I understand, you know, why people are so upset with Blizzard. And if you're upset with Blizzard, rightfully so. I mean, they've made a lot of shitty moves lately. And it's not even just, like, over the past couple of months. I mean, the whole Blitzchung situation was a big deal breaker for a lot of people. We had Warcraft 3. Call of Duty's really hit or miss with a lot of people, but unfortunately now they're making another shitty move. And I'm not saying that employing people is bad, because obviously if they're looking for 2,000 more workers, that's good in a way because they're giving more people jobs, especially during a pandemic. But the downside is that they literally fired 1,000 people last year, and now they're saying, wow, we really messed up, we need more people. So I mean, how much leeway can you really give them? How much credit can you really give them? Blizzard is a new code for hypocrisy. I'm holding on. How about you? Well, yeah, I think that we're all just kind of holding on right now. 2020's been quite an interesting year. It's had a couple of good things out of it, I guess. Not really, maybe. And of course, it's tested us all a lot. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that are feeling just holding on right now. You're definitely not alone. Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to Blizzard, they just, yeah, they keep messing up, as you guys are saying, yeah. F for Blizzard. I don't really know if we need to say F for Blizzard, because Blizzard has had enough chances to be a good company, and yet they always choose to be the bad company. I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure that most people that are here, or, you know, people that have played games for many years have probably played a Blizzard game at one point or another. I mean, Blizzard owns such fantastic franchises. They own Call of Duty, they have Warcraft, the whole Warcraft universe, they have, you know, Overwatch, they have so many, Diablo, they have so many different things that I'm sure there are many people out there, if not all of you, who have played a Blizzard game at one point or another. And it's unfortunate to see such a company that was so beloved for a long time fall. And there are a lot of people that are such dedicated fans to Blizzard because of these franchises that they have, and these franchises that we all have come to love. One of us, we all of us love at least one of them, probably. And it's a shame to see how the mighty have fallen, because Blizzard definitely was a mighty company. Is Black Friday this Friday? A lot of companies have actually already started their Black Friday sales. I know that, like, Target's already started a lot of their Black Friday sales. Walmart started a lot of them. Best Buy's started a lot of them. Each week they've been kind of adding more and more Black Friday sales to the list. And I'm sure on actual Black Friday there will be more sales. But I know that a lot of companies have started their Black Friday sales. I'm not sure about the PlayStation Store. I don't know what sales they're going to be hosting. I haven't seen anything for it. I just pray next week I will have my console. Guys, next week, on this day, well, yesterday as well, I should technically have my Xbox Series X. And then tomorrow, in a week from tomorrow, I don't know why I said that so wrong, English, I should technically have my PlayStation 5. So let's hope. If so, I'll be here streaming games every day. Lots of games, lots of streams. Yeah, YouTube's been fucking wonky. YouTube, unfortunately, has given me a ton of problems, so I saw a couple people, like Drew, actually tagged me in Discord saying, I actually got a notification this time, and then there's tons of people that are saying, I usually get notifications. I didn't this time. So you know what, YouTube? Okay. Everyone check GOG, Steam, and Microsoft. They always have great sales. They do, but I think that they're also doing more for Black Friday. All right, everyone. With YouTube messing up, we are going to continue on. So, let's start for the first topic of the night. Now, as you all know, I am a huge fan of The Witcher. I'm a huge fan of The Witcher games. They are some of the best games made. Well, I'd say The Witcher 3. The Witcher 1 and 2 were pretty good, in my opinion. I know a lot of people were iffy about Witcher 1 and 2. I really liked them, and I've been a huge fan of the show. I thought that the season one of the show, was really good. It did have some problems. There were definitely some issues I didn't like about it. Some of the storytelling wasn't the best. The monsters looked like complete garbage. And some of the costumes didn't look that good, but I thought overall it was a pretty good show. I liked a lot of it. I really liked the casting. I thought the casting was, for most of the characters, were pretty spot on how they massacred my girl Triss. But now we are finally seeing some new set photos of The Witcher, and we're finally seeing one in particular that we've all been kind of waiting for. Now, if you watched the show or followed the show's coverage before it launched, you all probably know the Nilfgaardian armor was terrible, as you can see through this picture. Basically, all of the characters that were wearing it looked like ball sacks and had penis helmets. That is the only way that I can describe it. They looked really bad. I don't know if they, like, ran out of money and, like, they said, oh shit, we're almost at the end of our budget. Let's just create what's cheap, and this is what they came up with. And while they did have some accurate elements, like the sigils and stuff, it just overall looked really bad. It didn't, maybe on paper it looked good. I kind of see what they were going for with it, but let's be honest, it looks like trash. And they promised, after the first season launched and there was so much negative feedback, they promised basically that they were going to do better. This season they were going to change the Nilfgaardian armor. They were really going to be careful with the choices that they made. And they were going to try to be a little bit more accurate. And we're finally seeing the new Nilfgaardian armor, which I do say is 1,000 times better than what we previously got. So this is a Bounding Into Comics article. A new set photo from the set of Netflix's The Witcher has revealed a brand new look at the Nilfgaardian armor. I was so excited when I saw this, and I couldn't wait to talk about this. I am a fan of, The Witcher, like I said, and boy, does it look so much better. So much better. Viewers of the Netflix's The Witcher will remember the first season had a rather bland design for the Nilfgaardian armor worn by the troops that attacked Sintra. As seen below, Cahir and his men wore what appears to be leather armor with a rippled design throughout, and there were stars emblazoned on the chest, and the helmets appeared to be molded after clay pots. Wow. It definitely didn't translate to what they were thinking. I kind of like, okay, so, I don't know. I feel like the ripple design could have looked so much better if it maybe was like just the chest piece. So, if you're looking at this image right now with Cahir, imagine if the arm plates weren't actually like this texture, and it was just the chest piece. Instead of the shoulders, just the chest piece. Maybe the neck changed a little bit. I think that it could have looked okay. They didn't execute it properly. They definitely didn't. Now a new photo of the actor as him reveals that he will be wearing a brand new armor for The Witcher second season on Netflix, and it is a much needed upgrade. Like I said, the design team had initially said, we get that people didn't like it, we didn't nail it, we're gonna change it, and it actually looks really, really good in my opinion. So, the photo was taken at Fountain Abbey and shows him wearing what appears to be a new set of black and gold plated armor. I'm going to zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see it a little bit better. I couldn't find the tweet for some reason. I tried to find it, couldn't find it. Oh my gosh, it looks so much freaking better. You actually see like the gold chest plate and the black. They kind of kept the same like rigid design. Of course, the plating's not like flat. They kind of kept the same rigid divoted design, but it looks so much better. It looks so much more polished, and he just looks so much fucking cooler. This is what I want to see in a Witcher TV show. When you watch The Witcher, you think of monsters and fighting and mages and just badassery in general, and the ballsack armor definitely didn't look that cool, but this just looks like 1,000 times better. I'm hoping, now it's not confirmed, but I'm hoping that this is actually going to be all of the Nilfgaardian's armor, because this wasn't confirmed, this was a leaked image, so this could just be his armor. We have to keep that in mind, because he's the most important Nilfgaardian. He's the most important here. This could just be his armor. So all of the armor that the rest of the people wear may not be the same, so I just want to say that so we can all take that with a grain of salt, and consider that it might just be his armor. But I really think that this looks cool, and if it's all of their armors, I think that it's definitely way cooler. The coloring looks cool with the black and the gold. The sigils right up front. Looks so good. Looks great. The article continues with, though, it's a much more traditional medieval plate armor look that many fans of the series were expecting in The Witcher Season 1. Yeah, I was just expecting more of that medieval feel. While The Witcher series did have that, the armors and the outfits didn't really feel that way a lot of the time. So I think that this is definitely an upgrade. It might have taken them a year to get the costume design right, but it is much better than the first season. I agree. I wasn't too mad when they messed up the armor. Obviously, yeah, it looked really bad and you wanted to chuckle when they were on screen, but I'd rather them fix it now than just say, oh, we messed up, we're not ever going to accept, you know, a change, we're never going to change it, that's the way that it is. I'm glad that they did decide to change it. So, there's also a new photo of Ciri. So the photo of Ciri appears to have her in the Witcher stronghold of Kaer Morhen as she begins undergoing training from Geralt and the other Witchers at the fort. Netflix wrote, she gave tearful goodbyes on the most violent night. Now this child of surprise is preparing to fight. This was actually something that the Witcher official Twitter posted. I am so excited to see Ciri's evolution. Now, in the first season of the show, a lot of people were complaining that she was a very, like, stuck-up, very prissy girl. And yeah, that's her story. But she's not always that way. A lot of people were mad that she acted this way, and it's so much different than she was in the games. Of course she's going to be different. She's way younger. I don't want to say it's a completely different story, but, you know, she's younger. It's not the same time as, like, The Witcher 3 is taking place. So I think that this is super, this could be super cool. I like the image. I think it looks neat. I'm glad that they gave a little bit of a spoiler here. She gave tearful goodbyes on the most violent night. Now this child of surprise is preparing to fight. I think that she looks really cool overall. I do like the actress that they chose. I've said that when the show came out. Of course, we see her picking up a wooden sword because she's, I don't think I have to say, training. So of course she's not going to have a real sword yet. And it says, as for Yennefer, they shared an image of the sorceress with her face beat up in a close-up of her in chains. Again, from the Witcher official Twitter, it says, she used her full might and the battlefield burned, and then she vanished from sight, but Yen will return. So cool. I love these types of teasers when they, like, give a couple of lines, they show an image or two. I think that it sounds really cool. Yen is such a good character. Oh my gosh, I loved seeing her evolution in the show. I feel like, though, for this season, I'm more excited to see Ciri's evolution just because it's something we don't know a lot about. We kind of do, but I want to see, like, the in-depth details. But Yen, she's beat up. She's chained up, but I'm sure... Oh, I just hit my microphone, so sorry. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's Yennefer, after all. She's not just some lame-o mage that no one knows about. And yeah, that's it. It says, what do you make of this new armor? Are you looking forward to The Witcher Season 2? I think that the photos that they're releasing on the official Twitter are very interesting because they're just trying to get people excited again. Unfortunately, they did have to halt filming again in England. So they were filming again in England, but England is actually going back into lockdown in a couple of days, or maybe they already did. So they had to pause filming in England, and now they're actually just filming on-set stuff, staged on-set scenes, which will be interesting because we don't know how long England is going to be in lockdown now, and we don't know how long it's going to be until they can go back to filming more episodes of the show. But right now they are doing just on-set filming, trying to stay safe. Did I just say that wrong? Stay safe. And yeah, I think that the armor looks 1,000 times better. I think that the Ciri image is really cool. Gets me excited to see her character evolution. And of course, Yen looks beat up, but I'm sure she'll be fine because she is a Yennefer. So that's all that I really had to discuss with that. I just kind of wanted to show you guys the images, really talk about them for a couple of minutes. The armor, though, 1,000 times better. 100%. Reminds me of when Sonic had that redo of Fur's movie. Yeah, that actually is kind of similar because people were so unhappy with how Sonic looked, they decided to change him. I don't think that having to change costumes in a show is bad. I'm glad that they did ultimately listen to fans and what fans wanted, and they said to themselves, okay, fans really didn't like the armor and we're gonna change it. I'm so glad that they actually listened to fans. That for me is the number one thing. Thumbs up from me. But yeah. Lockdown should last a month in the UK. At least for now, anyway. Yeah, it's being said that it's going to be a month. That when they posted about it, because they had Henry Cavill post about it, he said several weeks. So maybe they're anticipating a little bit more than a month, maybe not. But he said they're not going to be able to film in England for several weeks. So I suppose we'll have to see what happens. UK, I believe, goes into lockdown on Thursday. Gotcha. I suddenly have a... Here, listen, toss a coin for... You know, Toss a Coin to Your Witcher is an amazing song. They got a catchy one there. I really hope that Season 2 has a catchy song as well. Toss a Coin to Your Witcher is so good. Yen and Geralt have some kinky foreplay. Man... Between the games and the books and the show now, they've got a lot going on. Yen and Geralt. Eyebrow raise, right guys? Alright, so we are going to move on to the next topic of the night, which is actually the first Star Wars topic on the list. We'll be talking about Star Wars more afterwards, but it's actually about EA. Now, I have a very hate relationship with EA because they've made like very few games in the past couple of years that I've actually enjoyed, and one of them is Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, in my opinion, was just such a good game. I thought that the controls were really good on it. The story was actually really interesting. It could have been a little bit better. I definitely think that it had a couple of story flaws, but I think that the characters were really well written. The story did have a little bit of a twist, which I'm not going to spoil. I did fully play it on the channel. I have all those live streams up, so if you want to go watch it, feel free to. But EA, the only games that they've made over the past couple of years that I've really supported was Battlefront 1 was good. It started out good. And Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So there are only 2 EA games that I've supported, and those are, haha, Star Wars games. But recently, they came out with Star Wars Squadrons, and it was a very interesting game from the get-go, because while a lot of people had interest in it, I felt like a lot of people didn't actually show up to support it. It was a $40 game at launch. It was not a full $60 game, and that was just because there wasn't a lot of content. There was a very short story. I believe the campaign was like 5 hours long, which is pretty short, and they really wanted to rely on multiplayer. They really wanted to rely on people just playing with each other. And they basically instantly said at the launch of the game that they were already giving up on the game, which turned a lot of people off, because one of the developers for Star Wars Squadrons actually came out and said, we're not making any more content for the game. The game is launching the way that it is, and maybe we'll do like tuning and bug fixes. But they basically said that they're not ever going to add any big content to it, like full updates. And that was really disappointing to a lot of people. And we knew that there were going to be new Star Wars games in the future, just because EA's hinted towards them, saying, there's gonna be more Star Wars games. And now we're hearing that EA Motive is working on a new Star Wars action game. So the team at Motive Studios is starting immediately on an upcoming Star Wars game. Now, that's right there's interesting wording. They're starting immediately, meaning this game is only beginning. We're not gonna see this game for a while. Games obviously aren't made overnight, and they take quite a long time to make. It definitely differs depending on the scale of the game. Star Wars Squadrons apparently only took 2.5 years to make, which I heard that. I couldn't find too much information on that, but sounds about right for a game that's mainly multiplayer, and a lot of the models were actually recycled models, and a lot of the models were actually taken from Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO. But a new Star Wars action game is in the works from EA Motive, according to a recent job listing. The job ad calls for a building programmer to join the Motive team and start work on an upcoming Star Wars action game. The listing reveals that the development team is starting immediately on the project and states that this will give the programmer the opportunity to contribute to an exciting new IP. Whenever we hear about job listings, it's always the exciting new game. It's always like the exciting new action game, the exciting new RPG, the exciting new simulator. It's always exciting. I love how that's the word that they use. Get a little bit more creative, you guys. Motive Studios previously developed Star Wars Squadrons, which released at the beginning of October. Not long after the game's release, Motive revealed it's working on several unannounced projects in a blog post on its official website, but didn't go into detail about anything in the works. Now, this is really why I wanted to talk about this, because as you can tell, we don't have much information on this game. This game is not going to be coming out for a very long time. It's just starting. But what's interesting is that Motive was the studio that developed Star Wars Squadrons, and they basically said they're not doing anything else to Star Wars Squadrons, so it sounds like they just gave up on the game because they wanted to work on something else. Like, they were annoyed with what was going on with Squadron, so they decided, we're just going to release it the way that it is, and we're just going to go and work on a new project, which is pretty disappointing to me. Because I think that it was good that the game was only $40 because the campaign was short, and it also has a decent amount of multiplayer content. But it just shows the lack of ambition, in a way, by this team, because they just released a game and they literally said, we're not going to launch any new content for it. We're not going to touch the game anymore. That is so disappointing. If you're gonna release a game, release a good game. I am someone who is all for take the time you need to create the game that you want and give us a full product that is worth our money. But to see them say that they're already moving on to their next game and they are throwing the other game that they just launched into the dust, it's really disappointing to me. It makes me not want to support a game like Star Wars Squadrons just because of the team behind it that decided, we're done with it. Who cares? It says, with our new mission, we're trying a lot of new things and testing many ideas which you can't get attached to, as iteration and experimentation are healthy and a key to finding something great. Motive's VP and General Manager wrote regarding the new projects. The team is super talented and we're all striving to make inspirational games that push the boundaries of what players expect now and into the future. The mention of unannounced projects naturally led many to assume another Star Wars game might be in the pipeline, as this job listing appears to officially confirm a new game set in the Star Wars universe is in the works. Whether it turns out to be a follow-up to Squadrons or something else entirely remains to be seen, but as we head into the next generation, we'll likely see it land on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Now, I wanted to quickly read to you all what they said about Star Wars Squadrons, saying that they had no new plans for upcoming content. So, in an interview with Upload VR, Star Wars Squadrons creative director Ian Fraser said, "Never say never," but that the team has no plans to add to the release. Fraser explained, "We've tried to treat it in kind of an old school approach, saying you've paid the $40. This is the game and it's entirely self-contained. We're not planning to add more content. This is the game and we hope you understand the value." This comment gets me because, okay, I think that games should release in their entirety. I think that a game should come out and have tons of content. I can agree with that. I think that a game should just launch and have a ton of content. You pay $60, you get all of it. But this game doesn't have a lot of content. This game has 5 hours worth of a campaign, maybe 7 if you really play slow and stretch it, We're not talking about a game like The Witcher 3 that has 100 hours, where your minimum playthrough is like 60 hours. We're not talking about a game to that scale. We're talking about a game that has 5 hours of content, maybe 7, and then multiplayer. Not everyone constantly wants to play multiplayer. In my opinion, I think that yeah, I don't think that an old school approach is necessarily bad, where you've paid the money, you get the content, but this game doesn't have content. It's got nothing. It's empty, basically. Like, when the game dies, the game dies. You can't do anything solo. Barely. And this game is already rapidly losing players because they literally abandoned it day one. But going back to the initial article, I think that the idea of another Star Wars action game is cool. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars, and I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars games. I think that while Battlefront 2 was really, 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 really bad because of the microtransactions and whatnot, I think that the general game mechanics in all of the Star Wars games they've made have been fucking spot on. Battlefront 1 was really good. The combat, the controls, the story, it was all really good. Battlefront 2, take away all the bad things like microtransactions and glitches, the gameplay itself and the story was interesting. I liked it. Looking at Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, there were no microtransactions, there was no bullshit. It was a great game. It was too short though. Star Wars Squadrons, I haven't played it myself. It was a game I decided to ultimately pass on, even though I initially said I was going to play it. The controls look really good. I've heard a lot of people say, wow, this is like a really decent game, but there's no solo content. So it's either with EA, you get amazing controls, or you get fucked on microtransactions, or you get a really great game with really great controls, but you get fucked on content because, like Jedi Fallen Order, the game was like 10 hours if you stretched it, and a short playthrough of Jedi Fallen Order was like 7 hours. So it's one or the other. It's like microtransactions and an okay game, or like a great game and no, like, little to no content. So we don't know anything about the game, like I said at the beginning. It's all up in the air right now. I'm excited, I'll say it, for a new Star Wars game. I'm always interested to see new Star Wars games. Now, can we please just, I don't know, maybe work on this? Please? Can we please maybe start working on a new Star Wars The Old Republic? I don't know, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Can we go for 3? Can we go for a 1 remake? A 1 remake. I'll take a remake. I'll take KOTOR 3. I'll take anything that says of the Old Republic, basically. So just give it to me, EA. Just give me, well, whatever. It's fine. I'm not saying EA give it to me. I'm just saying this is ultimately what I care about when it comes to Star Wars, and this is ultimately what I want to see for video game Star Wars. So please, just do it. Can we just get that? I'm not saying EA do it. I just mean that's the end goal for Star Wars games. And I think that you all can agree with me. KOTOR 3 or a remake. That's all we care about with Star Wars games. We're all just looking for the next KOTOR. Anyway, we're gonna move to the next topic in a moment, which is another Star Wars topic. Yeah, see what I did there? 2 for 1. We need a sexy Han Solo game. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I like Han Solo. Like, Han Solo's cool. But after Solo, a Soy Wars story, I don't want Solo anymore. I'm not interested. Yes, good game, Vera. See, I see you guys in chat. This is all we care about. We're all just looking for the next Knights of the Old Republic. That's all we care about. Yeah, they just want to get more money out of you, pay pigs. Hey, I might be a Star Wars pay pig. I didn't buy Squadrons. Nope, I only support good games. And after they said we're abandoning the game on day 1, I didn't support it. I'll buy it. It's already on sale for $25, and it came out a month ago. I'll wait until it's $10. I'll buy it. I'll play it. I do I want to say religiously? I play a lot of the MMO. And I'm gonna say it, I play a lot of the MMO. I spend quite a bit of money on it when I get the chance. But, you know, if we could get KOTOR, that'd be great. Thanks. He is known now as Soilo. He is. Yeah, honestly, I would be worried if they remade Knights of the Old Republic. I would be worried that it could be maybe woke. I just want to say, though, that Star Wars The Old Republic, which is the MMO, it has a lot of diversity in it, but they do it in a correct way, which the game is EA. They do it in a correct way because while there is a lot of diversity, it's done properly because it's the Star Wars universe. So there's all different sorts of aliens, there's all sorts of different characters and traits that characters have, and I think that it's done well because the game was first made in 2011. They announced it in 2009, so it was before, you know, woke got really bad, but they've always done it very right. It's never been like, in your face, oh my gosh. But dem cartel coins though, oh, you don't even want to ask me how many cartel coins I bought. Oh, my wallet hurts. Damn Old Republic, I wouldn't trust them if they would probably put some stupid stuff in there. Yeah, it's a worry. Unfortunately with anything though these days, it's a gamble. Do you get the remake you want and have bad elements in it, or do you never get it and always wonder what it could be? So it's that give and take. If there's ever a Old Republic any sort of game besides the MMO that is new, you bet your bottom dollar I'll be on it. Yes, I do play the MMO quite a lot. If you guys would want to see one of the streams, let me know. I'm kind of good at it, not gonna lie. Alright, so we are going to move on to the next topic of the night. Now, we just talked about some Star Wars topics, and we're going to talk about another. Now, unfortunately, I've talked a lot about how Star Wars has been annihilated, ruined. So much of the lore has been wiped away, and it's all just a distant memory, when Star Wars was good, when there weren't so many problems in the Star Wars franchise, the Star Wars universe in general. And I've also talked about how there are a lot of writers that are doing Star Wars comics and novels that have essentially ruined all of this beloved canon, and they always take just cheap shots at our favorite characters and the iconic characters. And that is happening yet again. Star Wars reveals new The Empire Strikes Back story that demeans Han Solo for being handsome. We've heard some dumb shit when it comes to them taking cheap shots at characters. But this, oh no, this grinds my gears. Okay, you can demean a character for, you know, having shit aim. You can demean a character for, I don't know, making a wrong choice, pressing the magic button that he wasn't supposed to press. But demeaning a character for being handsome is so stupid. Especially when you think about the fact that Han Solo was literally written to be a handsome, cocky character. That is literally what he was written for, was to be a main character, yeah, but also, you know, a little bit of a side piece, a little bit of a hunk. And they're shooting down Han Solo because he's a hunk. Why am I not surprised? Star Wars and Lucasfilm continue to promote their upcoming, From a Certain Point of View, The Empire Strikes Back anthology series with an excerpt of the news story that demeans Han Solo. An excerpt of the story written by C.B. Lee entitled A Good Kiss was exclusively published to Gizmodo and goes out of its way to demean Han Solo. So as you can see, it says 40 years, celebrating 40 years of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. From a certain point of view. I think that this promotional art actually looks kind of cool, to be honest. Like, if this was actually a poster, I would probably buy it. Yeah, probably. So the story follows Chase Wilsore, the character who walked between Han Solo and Princess Leia as the two bickered about Solo leaving Hoth to pay off his debt to Jabba the Hutt at the beginning of The Empire Strikes Back. Here's one of the screenshots. Here's the character. Oh yeah, we really needed a story from him. Wilsore is currently the trainee of Lieutenant Dana, who wants to stop being a delivery boy and instead be assigned sentry duty. Can I just say, why the fuck do characters like this get stories now? They were literally watching the movie and went, oh wait, who's that character? We're gonna write a story for them. However, when he tries to request the promotion from the general, he's given another delivery assignment, much to his chagrin. However, the delivery does take him to a sentry point where he doesn't even enjoy being at the sentry point while delivering his package. Lee writes, Chase grabs the other crate, his eyes stinging in the cold wind. He can't even enjoy being out here at the sentry point. Being able to see the sky and sunshine, ice and snow stretch out into the endless horizon. Webpage, can you not refresh? Nothing on the tundra, everything swaths of the same white and gray and blue unrelenting ice. Not only does Wilsore not enjoy being at the sentry point, but it's revealed he's more than likely incompetent at sentry duty, and thus is why he's being assigned delivery jobs. One of the sentries comments, is it true Wilsore tripped over his own feet during weapons training and destroyed 3 barracks? He also previously admitted he is incompetent while dealing with the general. I know that I'm not good with weapons, sir, or hand-eye coordination, or fighting, or any of that really, but I really could take shifts on sentry duty. And after hearing the sentry's comments, Wilsore continues his delivery mission with another member of the Rebel Alliance apparently joining him. Yawn. This character named Jordan appears out of nowhere and is revealed Wilsore had a crush on him. Okay, so there we go. You can tell, you know, the types of stories that the writer's writing, which I'm not instantly saying that, you know, gay relationships or anything like that is bad. I'm not saying any of that. It's just like they're writing a story to push a specific point of view. Wilsore awkwardly exits the conversation and continues his delivery, where he runs into Han Solo and Princess Leia bickering after Solo announced he would be returning to Jabba the Hutt to pay off his debt after he had an encounter with a bounty hunter on Ord Mantell. The hunter approaches Solo and Leia. Lee writes, Captain Solo leans closer, and every centimeter of his handsome face annoys Chase to no end. Lee goes on to explain why Wilsore is so annoyed with him. Some people can't just sweep into the rebellion with their own ship and accept actual critical missions from the general and banter with the princess all over Echo Base. He continues, some people aren't handsome and don't have a presence like Han Solo. Some people are just ordinary people, okay? No one wants to hear a story about an ordinary person. If someone wanted to, you know, have the experience of an ordinary person, they'd probably be thinking about just a random person walking down the street. This is a problem, is that no one wants to hear a story about an ordinary person. Han Solo wasn't written to be an ordinary person. Han Solo was written to be a hunk. He was written to be a love interest. He was written to be one of the main characters. And Han Solo was always written to be a handsome, out-of-this-world guy, just this guy that always blew everyone away, and he was always so smart and cocky and confident, and he's handsome. Yeah, people want to hear stories about characters like that. People don't want to hear stories about some guy that's on fucking delivery duty. No one wants to hear that. If someone wants to hear a story about some character doing deliveries and I don't know, maybe having a crush on someone else, they just go and read a soap opera. I'm sure you can find fan fictions of Star Wars soap operas with better written characters, with decent characters. This is a mess. This is a mess. No one wants to read a story about an average guy doing random shit like package delivering. That's why we have characters like Han Solo that aren't just ordinary people, because ordinary people don't sell comic books, they don't sell novels, they don't sell games, they don't sell stories. You have to have extraordinary people to make sales, to have good stories, to have good content. He adds, Chase bristles, his knuckles turning white as he picks up the pace. He's so tired of people like Solo. You know who's never been kissed? Chase Wilsore. That's who. He certainly could use a good kiss. It offends him that Captain Solo and Princess Leia are just arguing about it. The way that they've been dancing around each other since they've arrived on Hoth, clearly pretending to hate each other. Finally! He says, don't attractive people have anything better to do than taunt everyone else on the base with their unresolved tensions? Yawn. Why is this such a... Why do you have to write a story insulting one of the most famous love stories to ever be written? Let's be honest. Han Solo and Leia's love story is very iconic. So why do you have to demean it from like the point of view of just some random package delivery guy that can't do anything right? That's literally like, oh man, I wish I could get with a girl like Princess Leia. I wish I could be Han Solo right now. I wish I was handsome like Han Solo. Who wants to read a book like that? Who wants to read that and not make fun of it like I am? I know you guys are enjoying me roasting this. I know you guys are in chat. But if someone said, hey, I want you to read this, you would never read this. You wouldn't buy this. It's just so bad. The ship is impounded, but Solo and company are able to evade capture by hiding his smuggling bays and ambushing a number of stormtroopers. And then the article does go on to kind of talk about the accomplishments that Han Solo has done. And then it says Solo plays a key role in destroying Darth Vader, destroying the Death Star, sorry. I don't know why I said Darth Vader, because it's in the next line. Solo plays a key role in destroying the Death Star as he destroys multiple Imperial TIE fighters and disables Darth Vader's ship, allowing Luke Skywalker a clean shot, which ends up destroying the Death Star. It says Solo is then heralded, rightfully so, as the hero of the Rebel Alliance. He didn't just sweep into the rebellion, he proved his worth and then was given assignments living up to his past accomplishments that include patrolling Hoth, which, as Han Solo notes, requires using a blaster to destroy an Imperial probe droid. Wilsore's perspective is simply just wrong, and the story should have never been approved by Lucasfilm editorial if they actually cared about Star Wars. But again, it has nothing to do with Star Wars anymore and is all about pushing a social agenda, as Gizmodo writer James Whitbrook makes clear. In promoting his article, he wrote on Twitter, I'm very critical of Star Wars' approach to queer rep because I love it so much, and for it to disregard who I am over and over always hurt hardest. But today, I got to reveal a male queer Star Wars character, and it's silly, but it means so much to me. In a subsequent tweet, he said, Chase Wilsore is a tiny step in the sea of other tiny steps in this era of Star Wars canon, but a welcome one. Thank you for making the GFFA a little more like me, a boy who likes boys. I just want to make something clear, because my problem with his tweet is that he makes it sound like Star Wars has never had representation. Maybe the movies, okay, didn't push that much representation, but look at all of the other canon. Star Wars is so much more than a movie. Star Wars is so much more than one movie or two movies or the whole series. It's about so much more. And in Star Wars, there are so many different types of races and traits that people have, and it's so much different than these people make it out to be. Star Wars has always had representation. Even if you look at the video games like Knights of the Old Republic, If you look at the novels that were first written, like, it's so much more than just like this one relationship of these two straight characters. It's so much more than just Han and Leia. Oh, they love each other. It's like the writer for this story and also this person, this editor who's pushing it, saying, oh, it's so amazing to reveal one of these characters. It's like they don't know that Star Wars has always previously had characters like this. Star Wars has always had gay characters and bisexual characters, queer characters. It might not be pushed as much in movies, but it's not like this is writing for a movie. This is literally just like a fan fiction that someone wrote that they published on Gizmodo. Why don't you actually go and read some of the novels that actually has legitimate content in it? If you want to see gay characters in Star Wars or all different sort of races, go read the actual content that exists, because this is bad content. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that because they're pushing a male queer character is bad. That's not bad. Pushing a male queer character, or writing one in Star Wars, I should say, writing a male queer character in Star Wars isn't bad. But it's the way that you present it like this, where he's literally saying, the character and the author are literally saying, fuck these characters, Han Solo and Leia, I'm better. I deserve to be in his position. The author C.B. Lee responded, thank you. It meant so much to me to write Chase and his journey. As a baby queer fan, I hardly ever saw myself in media, and seeing a queer mainstream SFF character would have been everything to me. I'm just honored to be here, and thank you for your feature. So yes, it was just a feature, but Lucasfilm had to accept it. It's just more stories demeaning these important canon characters like fucking Han Solo, and he's being demeaned for the dumbest reasons. He's being demeaned because he's flirtatious with Leia, because they're in that awkward phase of their relationship where he's not really admitting that he likes her, she's not admitting that she likes him, and there's a character in the background demeaning Han Solo, and an author that is writing a character that is demeaning Han Solo for being handsome. And it's just dumb in my opinion. But that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. I'm done with the Star Wars topics for tonight, guys, I promise. Until I bring up another one. I don't have another one. I have promise. It's so unfortunate to me to see them continuing to just fuck around with these characters and take their pot shots, their cheap shots. It's so bad. I hate seeing it. But really quickly, before I read chat and we move into the final topic of the night, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a like. We have 74 likes on the stream right now. I hope to get to 100. If you're disliking the stream, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Please consider donating via Streamlabs. For just $1, a notification will pop up. $3 or more, text-to-speech activates. All of the support is super appreciated, as none of my content is currently monetized. And if you want to support long-term, you can become a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. I do really appreciate all of the support, and we will be doing some supporter-only streams coming up soon. In the next couple of weeks, there's a lot going on. I do have both the consoles pre-ordered, so hopefully next week on the 10th I will be getting my Series X in. Hopefully next Thursday I will have my PlayStation 5 in, and I will be playing brand new video games. I hope. We have Spider-Man on the list. We have Demon's Souls on the list. We have Call of Duty on the list, which Call of Duty also releases. Oh my gosh, I can't take it. Call of Duty also releases next week, which I will be here streaming. So next week, basically, every single day I will be here streaming. Stream schedule is going to be crazy, but I do want to get in a supporter-only stream soon. So if you want to become a supporter, check out Patreon. I have all different tiers for all different types of people who want to support. I know, pandemic. It's been rough. I know things have been tough for people, but if you want to support, you can. All of the links are in the description of the stream, and I really do appreciate all of it. SWOTOR stream when? Would you guys want to see a Star Wars The Old Republic stream? I'm not trying to get cocky here, but I was the top healer on my server for 4 seasons. 4 PvP seasons. Just saying. I'm kind of the top healer on my server, so I don't want to get too cocky, but I am literally the best at what I do. So, Maybe I will do a SWTOR stream eventually. I'm surprised SJWs haven't tried to boycott Star Wars or tried to make it woke. Have you been living under a rock, James? They've been trying to make Star Wars woke literally since Disney bought it. Even before, the movies had their own elements to them that were considered woke. I mean, have you been living under a rock, James? I'm not trying to shame you too much, but... please talk about Scummy Activision Blizzard next. Oh wait, don't, otherwise we will be here forever. We are going to be moving into the final topic of the night, which will be about Activision Blizzard doing another shitty thing. I promise not to reiterate too many points. Both consoles, your soul is mine. Yes, I do have both consoles pre-ordered. I don't know if they're going to get here launch day. I hope they'll get here launch day, but I do have a Xbox Series X pre-ordered. And I do have a PlayStation 5 pre-ordered, so hopefully next week I'll have them. And next week Call of Duty releases. Holy shit. I'm gonna be honest, and I mentioned this in my videos. I'm disappointed that Cyberpunk 2077 was delayed until December 10th. But at the same time, guys, I'm also a little bit relieved because that would have released in 2 weeks on November 19th. I would have been jammed with games. I'm a little bit relieved as a content creator that it was delayed. But I also want to tell you guys that on December 10th, the day that Cyberpunk was delayed to, is the Game Awards, which is 4 hours long. So literally, Cyberpunk launch day is going to Game Awards Day. And The Medium releases on December 10th, which is another horror psychological game that a lot of people are excited for. I said it in my previous video, my previous streams. I think that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be delayed again. I think it is going to be delayed until January at least, into 2021. I don't think it's really going to release December 10th, but hey, I don't want to push my luck. I was already right about this past delay, but I think that it is going to be delayed again. I do have many games pre-ordered, yes. PS5 stream in 720p. I don't have a 4K capture device. I have a 1080p capture device. So, hey guys, feel free to donate. I'm just kidding. But I do need to get a 4K capture device. I just haven't yet. You want to pull for a 4K capture card? Go for it, yeah. You know, I was actually looking at 4K capture devices, really quickly. I'm not trying to get off topic because we are going to finish with Activision Blizzard in just a minute. I don't want an external one, but the internal ones, the Elgato 4K Pros, I was looking, and they're $300. They went down by $200. I'm so surprised. Yeah, from what I see at least, and I was looking at this earlier actually, now that we bring it up, they went down from what I see to 250-ish instead of like 500 that they were. Let me check Elgato's official website. Yeah, the 4K Pro MK2 is $250. Free shipping. It better be free shipping. You bet your bottom dollar. I thought that was interesting because they used to be like $450 because I was looking at them a couple of months ago. They've gone down. Please, no delay again. Well, I agree. I hope there's no delay. But I was right on the past delay. I think there's going to be another delay. They went down because the external ones came out. Oh, true. Because the external 4Ks weren't out. Right? There was a 4K external one, though. Okay, so they probably went down because Razer started making capture devices. They've started to push their capture devices. That's probably why. Okay. Grim is right again. Look at that, Grim. The most informed moderator in chat. The internal ones, yeah, are better. But yeah, I currently have a 1080p capture device. I don't have a 4K capture device. Currently. We don't know if the PS5 has the option to turn off HDCP. They've said that both of the new consoles will be compatible with the Elgato capture devices. I know that you are talking about HDCP, which obviously the PlayStation 3, that was built in. You can't capture PlayStation 3 footage with the capture cards. But they confirmed it for both of the consoles, I believe. I know 100% they confirmed it for the Xbox. I'm pretty sure they confirmed it for the PlayStation as well. So yeah. Stadia, where? Stadia? The dead platform? What's going on with Stadia lately? Come on. Get some better marketing. Alright? Stadia for the win. Frank is in chat. He's gonna say Stadia is gonna prevail. Stadia is gonna win. Stadia is the best. Alright, guys. Sorry, Frank. I'm calling you out. Alright, guys. We have 69 viewers. Nice. Give the live stream a like. Consider donating me a Streamlabs. So, we are going to move into the final topic of the night, which is about Activision Blizzard. Now, I've talked... Hey, DX Cat, I hope your night's going well. So, as I've talked about in the past, Activision Blizzard used to be one of the best companies. Everyone used to love Blizzard. Blizzard has been a staple company for so many people. I mean, Blizzard has some amazing franchises. Blizzard has just such good lineups for games, and everyone knows it. I mean, we've got Hearthstone and the Warcraft series and Diablo and Overwatch. I mean, Blizzard, if you are a gamer, you've probably played at least one Blizzard game in your time. Back in my day, I used to only play Blizzard games. And we've, over the past, I don't know, 3 years, we've seen a lot of problems go on with Blizzard. Blizzard has completely changed. And it's very unfortunate to see such a loved company become so unloved so quickly. And for a lot of people, their turning point was the Blitzchung situation last year. They banned Blitzchung for a year, rescinded his prize money, all for saying "Free Hong Kong Revolution of our times" during a live stream, and they ended up changing their minds. They ended up giving him half a year suspension, and they ended up also giving him his prize money back. But that, for a lot of people, was a turning point. There were protests at BlizzCon 2019. A lot of people were extremely upset, and rightfully so. It was a very upsetting situation. And then we saw, you know, Warcraft 3 Reforged come out, and that was a shit show. It was a half-assed game, buggy, broken, glitched. So many people were excited for it, and unfortunately, they didn't really do a lot that people wanted, and it was just a really bad game overall. And of course, when it comes to Activision Blizzard, we've also seen things like Call of Duty. Call of Duty's always walked that line with people between, is it good or is it not? Yeah, battle passes, microtransactions, all of that. But it's an unfortunate day when I have to talk about Blizzard, because I, like many other people, used to like Blizzard a lot. Blizzard was that company that I was like, I can't wait to see what they do next. Now, Activision, unfortunately, last year had laid off a lot of people. They laid off almost 1,000 people. I believe it was 850. This article will say in a moment. And now they're doing what no one was surprised about. They're saying, basically, we laid off too many people, and we need to suddenly hire 2,000 people, disregarding the mass layoffs that they did. So this is a WCCF Tech article. Sometimes the reality of a situation is so stupid, it's impossible to not just think, who left these rampant chimps in charge? Sometimes the reality of a situation was so easy to predict, you have to wonder why people who got rewarded with millions couldn't see it coming. Still, recent news shows that no matter how clear a situation is, Activision Blizzard, and likely the rest of the games industry, will likely continue being a short-sighted nest of vultures. Ooh, this article's taking a lot of shots. What is this news? In an interview with GamesBeat, Bobby Kotick, the most overpaid CEO in the games industry, may we say. Let me look this up really quickly, actually. Bobby Kotick, revenue 2019. Talked about this in a past video. Yeah, Bobby Kotick has consistently been one of the top 10 highest paid top 20 highest paid public company CEOs for the past decade, extremely overpaid. Little bit of context there, has revealed that Activision Blizzard will need to hire 2,000 people to meet production demands. Yes, you read that right. The same company that laid off around 800 people last year, despite having a record year for sales, needs more staff. The same company that during a global pandemic that is already wrecking lives, shuttered offices in Netherlands, Versailles, France, needs more staff. Now I just want to say, obviously, their company and they need more staff. I mean, I'm not saying that that's bad. I think that it's good that they're going to be employing more people when they need it. I mean, I think that that's a no-brainer and I don't really have to point that out. But the problem here is that they literally laid off 800 people last year. And from reports we're seeing, they are not contacting any of those people that they laid off. They have basically forgotten about those people that they laid off, and now that they're looking for more people to hire, they're not going back to those people that they previously, fucked over. They're just moving on. So you should remember that roughly 800 layoffs last year came as a shock to those laid off as rumors were circulating. People were terrified that they were going to be on the chopping block. These people were informed at the last second, long after the public was made aware that the layoffs were going to happen. You should also be aware that the office closures in the Netherlands and France, and the employees by extension, were targeted during a global pandemic already taking a huge toll on livelihoods, all while Activision Blizzard is again posting record fucking profits. Posting record profits. And they've literally, they laid off 1,000 people, they were posting profits, and now they are again. I want to read to you all something that came out yesterday, I believe it was. I'm trying to find it really quickly. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'm just gonna bring this up for you guys really quickly. Just gonna, because we're talking about Blizzard.
Searching for meaning.
Hey, whoa, don't give me an ad. Activision Blizzard made $1.2 billion from microtransactions in just 3 months. I'll read this a little bit really quickly. Microtransactions are a very big business for Activision Blizzard, obviously. For the latest reporting period, Activision Blizzard has made $1.95 billion in revenue from all of its businesses combined, so the $1.2 billion figure from microtransactions represents more than half the company's total revenue. This is why companies care about microtransactions. I talk about microtransactions a lot. I talk about how bullshit they are a lot of the time. A lot of companies like EA always push the limits. This is why companies don't care if consumers like microtransactions or not, because there are so many of us like you and me who are talking about, how microtransactions are bad, yet they're making billions of dollars off of them. 1.2 billion in just 3 months. 3 months is nothing to them. So, the Activision Blizzard problem, the short-sighted death of studios. A large number of these people weren't directly involved in making the games is one thing banned about. And now it's so very easy for those who don't understand anything about the industry to just look at groups of people and put them into the categories of developer or non-developer. What these people seem to forget is that these developers are only one part of the game. A number of layoffs, localization, a core element of development for non-English versions of games, customer support, and then you have the parts that get the game into the store, get the word out there for people and get people to buying these things, PR, communities, development, release managers, label managers, marketing, release coordinators, and more. We need to look at the real issue, the article says. The reason that these people were laid off in the past and why, in the future, you'll see even more huge layoffs. Activision Blizzard management is short-sightedly abysmal. I 100% agree with this. They are so short-sighted. It's awful. High Moon Studios made the well-received Transformers Fall of Cybertron, and as a reward, Activision put that part of High Moon on Call of Duty and Destiny. The other part of the studio released Deadpool, and then Activision Blizzard laid off 40 employees, and now the studio gets to support Call of Duty until it's eventually shuttered. Why do I keep talking about these studios as if their fate is inevitable? Well, that's because it is. A little pessimistic here. The past is always a good indicator for the future. Neversoft was forced to single-handedly pump out the 8 annual Tony Hawk games until 2007, before being forced to pump out 7 hero guitar/band games from 2007 to 2010, and once Activision single-handedly murdered the genre, Neversoft was put on supporting Call of Duty before being closed. The cycle begins anew. It's at this point that I point out the obvious. Laying off over 1,000 people in the space of 18 months, particularly when doing it in an underhanded and clandestine way as possible, isn't the way to get hard work from staff and support from staff. Also, the way to increase income and profits is naturally by increasing production. It says Blizzard now needs to hire 2,000 people to meet demands. These won't all be developer staff either, and there will be non-developer staff, but these roles are still essential. This is game development. The real work cannot be automated and performed by machines as much as the executives would love for that to be the case. The article finishes off with, what choice is there? Everyone should be acutely aware that jobs in the game industry aren't always there. Everybody should be acutely aware right now that finding a job in general is becoming more difficult. That's always why people who say if you don't like it, find a new job in response to crunch issues are immediately the obvious ones who don't understand anything they're talking about. So saying don't work for Activision Blizzard would be equally as short-sighted and lacking understanding. If you're looking for a job within the games industry and Activision Blizzard is the company hiring, take the job. Just be wary that thanks to the management provably and consistently putting themselves first and firing people just to pad numbers which subsequently pads their bonuses, you are disposable. Just remember that there are some great companies out there, and I will always remember that the management at Nintendo has, on multiple occasions, taken pay cuts rather than lay staff off. But Activision Blizzard, on the other hand, the cycle begins anew. This is so sad to hear. We're going through a pandemic, okay? And I know that obviously the pandemic wasn't fully going on when they laid off the 800 people a year ago. But it's just so disappointing to hear Activision do things like this. Any company do something like this. Fire a shit ton of people that they said were useless, that they didn't need, they were kicking to the curb, but now they need to hire 2,000 new people because they realized, wow, we are really understaffed. I wonder why. Did they completely forget that they laid off almost 1,000 people a year ago? It's just baffling to me that these companies will do something like this, and there's not enough people calling this out. I don't see a lot of people really talking about this. I mean, how many people on social media have talked about this? Not a lot, which is very unfortunate because I do think that things like this need to be pointed out. The hypocrisy in it. Them saying we don't need all of these employees, but basically we all know, as this article says, that they fired those employees to pad their bonuses and care about them, not care about the people that they're hiring. But we all know that Activision Blizzard has been a scummy company over the past couple of years, and this just, again, adds to the pile of problems with Blizzard. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this live stream and about Activision Blizzard. I get very heated when it comes to Blizzard because they were such a good company. They cared so much and they created such good games, and now it's just like, that's basically it. They don't care. They just don't care. By laying off experienced employees and hiring unexperienced workers at a lower wage will greatly hurt the quality of games. True. Yeah. It definitely, when you have this rotation of, you have these good employees and then you get rid of them and then you get new ones that are less experienced, it creates this bad cycle that can definitely hurt games and the quality of games. And unfortunately, these companies don't care. These companies only care about padding their bonus paychecks, padding their bottom line, making sure it looks like they're making a huge profit. But like I pointed out, they made $1.2 billion in just 3 months. Just 3 months. And it's heartbreaking. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this live stream. I'm going to go to the Q&A portion in just a moment, but we talked about Activision Blizzard making another scummy move, Star Wars revealing a new Star Wars story, well, a continuation, a backstory that demeans Han Solo for, out of all things, being handsome. Star Wars, EA Motive working on a new Star Wars action game, and we talked about Star Wars Squadrons, and we also talked about The Witcher, the brand new reveals that I was super excited to talk about. I'm really passionate about the movies, the shows, the games. We'll probably see a Witcher movie eventually, but the shows, the games, and yeah. We are going to move to the Q&A portion of the live stream, so if you guys have anything you would like me to answer, if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to put them into chat now, and I would be happy to answer them. Let me scroll up a little bit. Have a fantastic night, Lenny. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it so much. They did not forget. They probably threw a huge party for the management. Really quickly, guys, we are at 93 likes on the stream. I see all 80 of you. If you're a lurker, hey, take a minute. You're listening to my voice. You hear me. Yeah, you. You with the fucking mouse and keyboard, okay? Yeah, you. Give the stream a like. I appreciate all of you lurkers. I appreciate all of you guys being here and chatting in the stream. But let's get to 100 likes. I only need 8 of you. Okay, 7. Wow. What is math? What are numbers? I don't know. Hey, 94 likes. Now I only need 6 of you. Still waiting for a Star Wars video game live stream, unless I missed it. Well, in the past, I've played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on stream, which is a Star Wars game. Maybe at some point, I've seen a lot of you guys tonight mention the MMO, because I've talked about how I play it a lot and I like it. Maybe I'll do a Star Wars The Old Republic stream eventually. Would you guys like that? Put a 1 in chat, all of you lurkers, if you would watch a Star Wars The Old Republic stream. Maybe just 1, just some PvP. Maybe in the future, I'll play my very favorite Star Wars game ever. Maybe after the rush of new games is done, I get a little breathing room. Maybe I get to play a game that's not very brand new. We can play, maybe one of my favorite games of all time that I've played time and time again. One of the better games ever created, Maybe. Got any news on Reforged? Warcraft 3 Reforged? No, there's been no news on it. No one cares about that game anymore, unfortunately, because they ruined the launch so terribly. At least I think. I could be wrong. Jedi Knight. Huh? Jedi Knight, like the older game? Hey, maybe they'll remake the Jedi Knight series. Jedi Fallen Order is not good enough for me personally. I thought the Jedi Fallen Order was actually a pretty good game. Did you say you played Star Wars Fallen Order? Yes, I did play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on stream when the game launched. The videos still are up, the streams still are up on the channel, so go ahead and search Star Wars and you'll probably find them. I also did a full review for the game. Did your hair get more fiery orange, or is it just me? It's probably just you. It's my natural hair color, so it doesn't ever change. Doesn't ever change. Might be a little more red today. I don't know. Republic Commando was such a good game. Oh, actually, wait. Before I say this, wait. I don't want to make a false statement. Do I really want them to remake that? No. I don't want them to ruin it. I would rather take the risk on KOTOR. I heard that they are coming out with Warcraft 4. There's a lot of things that are said. Warcraft Reforged went terribly, so I don't think we're going to see anything Warcraft for a while. The Old Republic, I haven't played it yet. The MMO. Oh, it's good. It's good. What game did you wish you didn't play but you did? Ooh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really regret playing any games. Like, there are some games that maybe I didn't end up liking. I'm gonna be honest. I spent a lot of time with this game. Plague Tale Innocence. It came out 2 years ago, I think, and I live streamed it. It was just a lot of time for a bad story. Really. It sucked. Yeah, this is my natural hair color, guys. Come on. You don't have to play pretend. You all know that it's my natural hair color. I mean, I know that it's a pretty rare natural hair color, but you all know that it's my natural color. You don't have to pretend. Thank you guys for the likes. 105 likes. It's pretty good. It's 5 more than I asked for. All games are experiences. Feels good to experience everything, even if it's bad. That's the way that I view it, because even though there are a lot of games that I disliked, that I feel like the stories were just terrible, maybe the gameplay was terrible, I think that every game, yes, is an experience. And even if you didn't like it that much, it's still a memory, and it's still an experience. You wouldn't, if you never played games that you think you wouldn't like, you could miss out on amazing games. So even if it's bad, it's still memorable, and you still end up enjoying it in some way or another. Any game that you loved and you wished you could experience it again as if it were your first time? Ooh. I don't know. I mean, ooh, that's a hard one. I don't know. I'd really have to think about that. Ask me again in the next live stream, Diego, and I'll have an answer for you. I'll really think about that one. Alright guys, any last questions or topics before I end the live stream? Last chance. Honestly, I feel like every Star Wars game, I'll say like 90% of Star Wars games are such a good experience, because there are a couple that, yeah, they're definitely not the best experience, but like, there are definitely Star Wars games, I feel like most of them, that are really good, you know? Like, I feel like most of them are really good experiences. Do you like StarCraft? Yes, I do like StarCraft. It's by Blizzard. Oh, believe me, I know. Oh, believe me, I know. I watch a lot of StarCraft esports. Watch a lot of it. I wish I could play Ocarina of Time like it was the first time again. Ooh. Bang. Yeah. Okay. Why did it just like randomly bring up one of my past live streams? Hello? Can you not? Can you not randomly do that? The company's made by ex-Blizzard staff. Do you think that will rekindle the old Blizzard magic or long gone? I think that the old Blizzard magic can be captured again. When it comes to some of the teams that are coming out that are saying, you know, like the team that's doing RTSs, it's difficult to say if they will capture the magic of what Blizzard was, but I do think that it is possible for a company to capture the magic that Blizzard once had, and all of the amazing experiences that Blizzard once gave to all of us players. I think that it is possible. But alright, you guys, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do appreciate it. I don't usually stream on Wednesdays, but, you know, I appreciate you all being here. I hope that you all have a fantastic evening or day, if it's the day where you are, if it's the morning or the afternoon. But if you enjoyed the content, please make sure to give the stream a like. If you didn't give it a dislike, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. If you want to support directly, you can donate via PayPal. All of the links are in the description in case you don't see them in chat, or in case you're watching this back, if you're watching this live stream back on YouTube as a video. But make sure also to join our Discord. We are very active there. I tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you, because we all know YouTube doesn't like anyone very much, but they really don't like me very much. It's very unfortunate, because I do use their platform pretty religiously. But thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic night, everyone.